Hey guys, it's Dawn, aspiring author of adult fantasy, here to kick off Camp NaNoWrimo with you. So it is actually the evening of the 31st as I'm doing my final preparations for camp, and I thought I would kind of fill you guys in more in depth on what I'm working on for camp and on like a little, project for my channel that will be included in camp basically. So a couple weeks back, I entered and won a small giveaway on Instagram, and the prize was a copy of Save the Cat Writes a Novel. If you're somebody that's known me for a while, you probably remember that I, for a long time, have been hesitant about using any craft books, craft aids, whatever you want to call them, because I was not super confident in my own style and in my own grasp of writing fiction, in so much that I thought that if I read books like Save the Cat, that I would basically just copy these methods and stuff, and I wouldn't figure out things on my own and develop my own voice and style and all that kind of jazz. However, I do feel like I'm in a place now where I'm more confident and I do recognize my voice when I am writing, and I have seen the progress that I have made from back when I first wrote the first draft of The Network to finishing the first draft of The Elf and the Goblin. And I'm okay with jumping into a craft book now. And Save the Cat is one of those that has been really, really popular on AuthorTube for as long as I've been on here, and probably way longer before that. So it's definitely one that I had heard a lot about, I had a lot of exposure to, so I kind of knew the gist of what it was about. But it was fun to finally get my own copy, especially because I like free stuff, so that was kind of fun. So my idea for this project on my channel, this series on my channel, is I'm basically going to be using the Save the Cat method to write this Russian fairy tale story, which I'll talk a little bit more about as far as like the plot and the concept in just a second, because I'm not that attached to this story as I am to other ideas I have. So I don't mind, really diving deep into a method like this and implementing it for this project. It doesn't feel like it'll detract from my vision or steer me away from what I actually want to accomplish with the story. So I thought it'd be kind of fun to do a sort of vlog episode per beat of the Save the Cat method. Obviously, some beats are longer than others. Some beats are like actually super, super short, as in just one scene. So the videos won't necessarily come out weekly just for that reason, because some things will take me longer to write than others. However, I think if everything goes well, I will probably get through the entire series by the end of July or August. So if you are interested in seeing the Save the Cat method being used actually in process for a project and kind of being involved in all the details and having me explain my thoughts and feelings about each beat as I go, then definitely subscribe to my channel so you can get notified when I upload those episodes. So this is technically the first episode, but it is just an intro episode. I'm not delving into the first beat today. That will be the next time I upload for this series. But that is kind of the idea behind it, and I am really excited to try this out. So now let's talk about the actual story, because I feel like in the past I have been very vague about my story ideas because I wasn't exactly sure how much was appropriate to share, because you definitely, you don't want to share spoilers in case whoever's watching is going to eventually read your book. But at the same time, if you're too vague, then, the viewer can't really get invested in what you're doing. So I am going to try to be better about that. So the basic premise of the story is that our main character is the oldest daughter of this family of Russian villagers, Russian peasants. She is unmarried because the young man that she had been interested in actually went off to war, to the Crimean War, and was killed. I think I have her set as like 25 or 26, and she's not married. Her younger sister is engaged to be married. Pelagea's best friend is already married and is pregnant with her second child. So she feels like she's being left behind, and she's sort of ready to let go and move on with her life and just sort of it sounds sad, but like just resign herself to being the daughter who stays home and continues to help her parents, manage their house and manage the fields and all that kind of jazz. So that's kind of the opening picture, I guess, of Pelageia. However, the story kicks off when Pelageia runs across an old woman wandering around the woods near the village. The woman is kind of incoherent. Pelageia thinks she, has dementia, doesn't know where she's from. She doesn't recognize her. So she decides to take this old woman to their village. And when they are back in the village, Pelageia's grandmother actually recognizes the old woman as her older sister who went missing years and years ago. So back when they were both young women. So obviously that sets off a lot of drama and confusion about where this great aunt of Pelageia's went, why she suddenly showed up again, and all this. So it basically turns out that there's a portal of sorts, or a doorway, whatever you want to call it, in the woods that leads into an alternate sort of version of the woods that is the magical world. And in that magical world lives Baba Yaga. So Pelageia finds out through her great aunt that Baba Yaga basically needs to keep an assistant to keep on top of her magic, which is used to protect the surrounding villages, the fields, keeping the blight out, and all these other different things that are important just for keeping everybody alive and healthy. And so because Pelageia is unmarried, she's doesn't have any prospects, she feels that it's her responsibility to go into the woods and go through this portal and become Baba Yaga's new assistant. I did want to call this book Baba Yaga's Assistant, but that title is literally already taken, which is cool. Not salty about it at all, so I do have to come up with another title, but that is the general idea. Basically, this young woman from a village having to go into a magical, mystical woods or whatever and become Baba Yaga's assistant. There's more to it as well, as far as like a conflict and everything, but I won't go into that yet. That's kind of, I guess the hook is just young lady goes to be Baba Yaga's assistant. So I know in my last video I said that this story isn't inspired by any specific fairy tale. However, I did realize since then that technically you could say that it's kind of inspired, kind of based on Vasilisa Prekrasnaya. However, it's really just a couple concepts are taken from that fairy tale. Here's my copy, by the way, if you're interested. It's a super old copy. I think my aunt found it for me in Paris at like a flea market, which is really funny because it's Russian, not French. And it's really cute because there's an inscription to somebody's grandson named Yuri, which is just so cute to me. I can't read the grandpa's name though, because yeah, he's got old people handwriting, but that's my copy of the fairy tale. But like I said, it's really just a couple elements are borrowed from this story. Obviously Baba Yaga, except I take a more positive spin on her, so she's not the antagonist in my story. And then I guess you can say there's kind of a reference to those three horsemen, but it's like the barest, almost unrecognizable reference. So anyways, but technically you could say that it is inspired by this one. Anyways, I should stop chattering because I'm basically just delaying working on my prep, but I just wanted to say I hope you guys all have an amazing first day of camp. I hope it's productive. I hope that you're optimistic about everything that you're going to get done. And I also hope that no matter what, no matter if you hit your goal or you only get half of your goal or you barely get anything, that you're happy with what you do accomplish and you feel like your time was well spent. And that you had a good time and got to interact with people and make new friends, whether here on AuthorTube or on the NaNoWrimo website. Speaking of which, you can go add me there as a buddy if you want to. Could be fun. Anyways, I guess that's it because I need to go pretend to work on this outline some more. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and just hearing a little more of a sneak peek of the story. Like I said, during the series, you will get kind of more in depth for the beats and stuff, and I will talk about more characters and the broader conflict and antagonists, which I haven't introduced today. But I think for now that's enough, and hopefully it was interesting to kind of hear just the hook, just the basic premise. But yeah, I hope you guys have an amazing first week of camp, and as always, happy writing. Bye.